Pastor Stephanie Babu, coming to you from FBTS here in Lakewood, housed by Trinity Baptist Church. And we are so happy once again just to come into your very living room, in your comfort of your rooms, and having this as our sixth episode of FBTS Consultative Forum, episode number 6 of 2025. What a day, and God bless you to be with us, our viewers and our listeners. Today, we are so privileged to have one of our faculty members. His name is Dr. Karori, and Dr. Karori is an expert in research. He teaches research here in Fulbright Theological Seminary, and we are happy to have him. Also today, we have two scholars. We have Lydia Jakes, and also we have Anastasia Mburu. So I will start with Anastasia Mburu. Please, would you mind just give us, introduce yourself to our viewers and to our listeners?
Okay, good morning viewers, good morning our listeners back at home and also here in FBTS. My name is Anastasia Mburu Mikiwan. I study here and I'm a scholar, and I am so privileged to sit in front of you and also to see what the day have for us. And I'm a scholar in the master's class. I study counseling and the biblical aspects of counseling, as you know. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Also, we have Lydia Jakes.
Hi, everyone. As you've heard, my name is Lydia Jakes, and I'm a scholar here doing masters in Fulbright, and I'm glad to represent my fellow colleagues here in this today.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for that introduction. Today we are very privileged and we're going to learn a lot. Our viewers and our listeners, get ready, have your pen and the paper, because the subject today is very important. And just to remind you, the intake is ongoing here at Fulbright Theological Seminary. Please look at the bottom of your TVs and you can be able to reach out to our emails, and if you have any question, please, you can reach out to Francis Kiduku, our Vice Chancellor. Our Dean is Eunice Waidakar. Please don't hesitate. Thank you. Today, we have our faculty member, Dr. Karori, and our scholars have very wonderful questions for you. And I will ask our sister, Ms. Mburu, what these questions that you have about research.
Okay, thank you so much, our host. And today, as you know, we are privileged to have our Professor Dr. Karori, who takes us through research in our class. And we are so happy to come here and also have some insights. So my first question today is that I would want us to know, and you give us some insights on how counseling research is related to the in general, counseling research in general, as we proceed to know how it is related to counseling.
Thank you, Babu and the rest of the team. Thank you for having me in this show. I'm delighted. I'm happy to participate in this wonderful show. I think answering her question on what is research in general, I like giving two definitions. One, I call it the layman's language definition, which means research is basically the response that we as humans have in pursuit of knowledge. That's basically what research is. It's the way we respond to our desire to know. Then if you want the other definition, basically research has to do to the whole process by which we collect data to solve a problem and to satisfy our desire to know.
Thank you so much. That's a very well answered question. And Sister Jakes, you had a question.
Yeah, and my question goes to you, Dr. Karori. I want you to tell us, can you tell us what is research methodology?
Research methodology deals with the general approach that we use to carry out data, to collect data with the aim of solving a particular problem. It basically covers from where we begin, what's our research problem, what you're trying to address, all the way to the tools you're going to use, to the population of interest, to the last point where we do analyze the data and then we come up with a report. That whole process is included in the research methodology.
Wow. Now I'm learning. I don't know about you back at home there, our viewers and our listeners. If you want to know more about research, we have wonderful people right here. The faculty member, Dr. Karori, taking us through what is this all about methodology and the things that we need to learn. Anastasia, you had another question. What is this that you wanted to know?
Yeah, well, as I know research, I used to think that research is just research, but here comes that Dr. Karoli tells us about research being related to the counseling. So I would want to ask Dr. Karoli to tell us, how is it related to counseling and family therapy?
Thank you, scholar Anastasia. Research plays a vital role in our society today. And as I said, we use research to answer to the problem that our societies face. That's a pivotal role that the society plays. And in counseling, there are various themes and issues which we can contribute as researchers. For instance, we can look at the best techniques and methods that we can deal with things like addiction, pressure, divorce issues, and other related aspects that if we collected data and we found the best way of dealing with them, then we will be possibly doing much better contribution to our society today.
Wow. Is it answered?
Very well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jakes.
Yeah, Dr. Karori, that's so profound. And I have another question for you now. What advice do you have for a student interested in pursuing research career?
Thank you for that wonderful question. I think that's a genuine, legitimate question. I look at research as a noble task, something born out of human interest, and anybody with a desire to solve some of the problem. We may not solve all the problems facing our society today, but we can actually be able to pick an area in counseling, and then we as the students, the whole of the student body, look at how you can be able to collect data, address those issues, as much as advance your career in research, and maybe also at some point advance in a way you can also mentor other people in the research career.
Wow. Thank you. That's a very good point that you raised there. I have a question here, Dr. Karori. How do you see research, maybe you've done research, contributing to the field or the society at large?
Thank you, our presenter. I think, as I said, society has many issues that affect them today. And we are always at the pursuit of the best techniques that we can use to deal with all of them. And there's a general belief in research that there's always a way we can do things better. We can be able to use the best techniques, we can be able to use the best methods, we can be able to assess the results of what we have done before. And all this, we can only be able to ascertain them, collect these data. If we are well versed with research and we are able to do this in a professional way. So I would say that this is a noble task. So research basically addresses the core issues affecting the society.
Thank you so much. And our viewers back home and our listeners, maybe you might be wondering, why are we dwelling more of understanding about research? Here in FBTS, the school is very particular. We have those students who are doing the external research, and there are those who are doing meta-analysis research. And those who are doing outside, some are doing in Kenya, some are doing right here in the state. And it's a focus where the students are given an opportunity to be able to do research as per the proposed topic that they have presented to their professors. Thank you so much, Dr. Karori, for that answer. And our sister Anastasia, you had another question you also wanted to ask.
My other question is to Dr. Karori is about how do you typically mentor students or juniors researchers? And also, can you describe any collaborative project with other departments you've ever done?
Thank you for that wonderful question. The faculty here at Fulbright, one of the areas and one of the core values we have is once we receive students of all sorts, we sit down with them, we listen to them, the areas they would like to do their research, areas of interest, because a good research should actually flow from the heart. It could be something that somebody has a direct interest in it, motivation into it, and then we sit back, we help them frame their topic, their title, and then we help them come up with the best tools, research questions to use, and then we also help them in the process of preparing the proposals and data collection all the way up to the final. This is based on the belief that anybody has some interest in knowing, and if any skill or ability is brought up, it can be able to accomplish even higher levels. So we actually, in summary, say we mentor them in terms of topic formulation, in terms of also publication, that's also another area, and so on. This is one way that actually brings up the research careers, and in a long-term way. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. That extensive answer about that question from Anastasia. Sister Jakes, you had something before the program started. You mentioned to me that you wanted to know more about these 3 types. What was this question about?
Yeah, Dr. Karori, I wanted to ask another question about the research methodologies, and this can be generally be categorized in 3 primary types. We have qualitative research method, we have quantitative research method, and mixed method. Please, can you explain briefly about each?
Thank you for that question. I appreciate all that. Now, when research basically can be carried out in those 3 methodologies, so to say, and in a limited nutshell way, if your basic interest in research is to generate descriptive qualitative statements, then you need to go the qualitative way. And most of the issues that affect are dealt with in counseling and behavioral sciences. Most of them may require some point, or to a greater extent, some in-depth qualitative kind of a study. If you want to describe much of your study in numerical, statistical form, then go the qualitative methodological way, where you generate percentages, you generate inferential statistics, you generate descriptive statistics, and then your study basically will be presented in a way that you can see all these kind of statistics in your report. Now in mixed, you borrow the advantage of either 2, because sometimes you could look at the strength of qualitative and then look at the strength of the quantitative. For example, some of the counseling abstracts, some of the counseling issues, you may not be able to describe them in mathematical quantitative way. Some of them you can describe them in qualitative judgmental statements. So you borrow the advantage of one side and you mix them to the advantages of the other side, and then you have a better, complete, understandable report. Yeah, so that's basically what I would say about the 3 methodologies.
Wow. So we have those 3 methodologies, and what has been the most used methodology within the FBTS and the students so far right now?
Mixed methodologies. because some of the, for example, if you want to measure drug addiction, some of the aspects of addiction could be represented in statistical form. Others could be represented as qualitative statements. For example, the level of addiction, you can either put it in qualitative numerical aspects, or you could give it in a descriptive form. So mixed methods has been like the way most people go.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
People, wonderful people back home there, our viewers and our listeners. I've asked you before, if you have any question, if you have any concern that you want to know more about the FBTS, please do not hesitate. At the bottom of your screen, there's an email there, and there are those names specifically. You can reach out to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Francis Kiduku, the Dean of Faculty, Dr. Eunice Waidaka. They will be able to answer you any question that you might have. And if you want to join, remember, as I said in the beginning, the intake is still ongoing, so don't hesitate. And this is the place to be for the education. Dr. Karuri, I have this question. It's been burning in me. Could you share more about one of the recent publications, if any, and its implication for the field? I'm particularly interested on how your findings might influence the future research and also the direction or the practical application.
Thank you, Ibabu, for the chance. Currently now we are working on a project basically dealing with the behavioral aspects on sustainable energy production, sustainable energy source, basically the solar paneling here in Washington State. We are at the early stages of doing it, written to a few organizations. The proposal, we are done with it, so we are expecting that as we move on and everything get cleared up, we should be able to carry out that research. The expected findings basically look at the behavioral, psychological dynamics, why people adopt solar paneling and others do not. And we hope that these kind of findings will help us to accelerate the solar panel here in Washington State adoption, and maybe even save our society in terms of cost effectiveness, and also build a bridge to what you could say reduction of harmful fossil fuel burning in our society today that contributes to climate change and so on. So this is basically what you're doing at this moment.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Karuri, for that very informative and the kind of research you're doing and the implication, and particularly knowing the kind of findings that will be coming out and the way it's going to influence the research and which kind of a direction that it's going to take. We are very, very privileged to have you being a tutor here as a professor and who has really done a lot of research. Viewers, if there is anything that you would want to know, it is here in FBTS. And our programs are running. And we've been having so many questions, and we're very happy for you, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters back home, trying to reach out to find out what is this that is going on here at FBTS. Today we've had our two scholars, Lydia Jakes and Anastasia Mburu. And before we close, I would just ask them, I'll start with Sister Anastasia, what is your last word to our viewers and to our listeners?
Okay, thank you so much, our host. And I would want to challenge everyone back at home, beginning with my husband, Mr. Robert. Please come and have whatever I'm tasting. You know, you are my strength, and I would like you to come and see what we are doing here. It will be something that is very interesting. I also go back to every community around Washington, around Tacoma, everywhere, because I am enjoying and I am looking forward to graduate as a scholar in masters.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Anastasia. Remember, she just said she is graduating in her master's. Ready to go for her PhD. What about you? Sister Jakes, your last word, please.
I want to urge everyone who is watching right now, and I have so many people that I tell about the Fulbright. You can see now what we are doing here and why we are here. You can come and join us and be part of Fulbright. Studying, you can study even when you're 50, 60, 80 years. There is no limit to study. Just come and learn more.
Thank you so much. You've heard our scholars are telling you what they're doing and what they're just about to achieve. Dr. Karuri, your last word to our viewers, please.
Thank you, our viewers, wherever you're watching us. I would like to encourage you, join us. Counseling research is a noble field. You can join our team, contribute to the betterment of our society. If you're still doubting what's your calling, what's your part, what's your purpose in this world today, your society today, this will be the place that can help you. Will nurture you in terms of research, come up with your proposal, help you to collect data, and then all the way up to where people can see your publication. Nothing is as good as people reading your publication, your book somewhere, and then they're able to say, okay, that you did some work, you helped the society, you did not just exist on this earth. You are a contributor, not a liability to this earth. Thank you.
Not a liability, but a contributor. Don't forget the last word. You are not going to be a liability, but a contributor. Once again, Stephanie Babu, your presenter, right here, FBTS in Lakewood. We want to say thank you so much for taking time to listen to us and hear what FBTS is all about. And the bone of contention, it's up to you now to reach out and talk to us. We will see you again, once again, right here. Stephanie Babu, Chaplain, FBTS. We will see you on our 7th episode of 2025 next Saturday. Right here, same time, same channel. God bless.
You are watching Pacific Waves Television, USA, a place of nourishment.